defense that delay route that got a touchdown you put in last week, what made you, or what did you see, what was the inspiration for that? Because clearly it was effective and something you guys can exploit moving forward.
Yeah, so every week Kyle Kemp, one of our quality control guys played here, comes up, has an idea tape of stuff that he's seen from college football and the NFL, and we'll watch it and see if there's stuff that we can apply or not apply. And that's been a route. I know that was probably going on Twitter that the Niners ran with Brock, and I remember them running it too. So we had a couple of different examples of it that we could use as teach tape for him, just from like the timing piece of it. And I thought he did a really good job of executing the play. But credit to Kyle, he does a good job of coming up with new ideas and stuff and finding like trends in college football and things that we could do each week.
What does having a healthy Jalen Travis mean to the offensive line that's clearly been building from week to week? And as a corollary to that, he said when you guys go heavy, there's maybe the potential that there could be a pass play at some point to one of those guys, and he'd like to be the recipient.
Is that what he said? Yeah, believe me, I would love to throw him a ball. When you're as big as that guy is, I don't know if there's a lot that guy can't do, and he's so smart and so athletic, and he's like a zombie out there. Like, he wants to eat everybody's heart right out of their chest, and you've met Ryan Clan, you see what that guy is. So just the physical presence that guy has and how dominant he could be and how good he is in the pass protection, he injects a lot of confidence into me and our offense. So I would love to be able to find a way to put the ball in his hands somehow, some way. But he'd certainly be the guy to do it.
Hey, Taylor, forgive me, I might be showing my age a little bit. Was that a power T? What do you call that formation down
Yeah,
the goal line?
So we've had a couple different names for it. We just call it jing, which is we start in a different formation and shift to jing and get to that. And they didn't line up exactly in the defense that we thought that they would, so it didn't work. But yeah, we have a couple different heavy formations that we could get into in three-back sets, whether that's in the stack or in the T. So it kind of allows us to be flexible based on what we've called it, and it's evolved a little bit through the years with Coach Campbell of what that's looked like and who's been at what spots.
What are the challenges that come with having a playbook, where you could go spread and then, go power T, with maybe teaching that to players and just the challenges there?
Yeah, I think the nice thing is it allows you to be really flexible, especially with just the personnel options that we have with tight ends and receivers and running backs. So within that, it can be really easy to chase ghosts a little bit, or you feel like you have so many options where you're like, all right, what's like really the best thing that we could do here to get a yard or short yardage or goal line? So at times you feel like you could cast such a wide net that it could be distracting a little bit at times, because you're like, we could do this, or we could line up in T or stack or I. So you can spend a lot of time trying to find like what the best things are a little bit, but more often than not, it's just keeping it simple. But we have a lot of different tools and toys at our disposal here, which is really nice. It's a good problem to have, but sometimes you can talk yourself in circles a little bit.
There have been a couple instances where the offense got off to a slow start. Last weekend wasn't the case. What's sort of the formula for getting into a rhythm quickly?
Yeah, I think kind of like what I was saying in the last question, keeping it simple and doing the best things that we've executed in practice. And even still, the last 2 weeks, there's a lot of calls that are still lingering and in my mind of things that I wish I would have called differently to help get us off to a better start. And there's short yardage situations of calls that I wish I could have had back that could have helped us get off to a better start in the game. And the defense did such a good job, this last week, because we were, didn't hold our side of the bargain early. But I think just finding things that our guys are confident that we can go in and play fast, especially when you're playing defenses like Houston, Baylor, and this West Virginia, where they could be so different. How can we keep it simple and allow our guys to play fast and play confident with stuff that they know that they can execute?
We've asked you a lot about play calling over the last weeks and months, but now halfway through the season, I guess, what would you say your evolution as a play caller, what's been different than maybe you expected, or the same, or just your thoughts on how that's unfolded?
Yeah, I think for me, just kind of probably similar to some of the players, like how can I get myself into a rhythm to where I know where we can play and not get behind the chains and be able to just keep taking efficient plays. And then when we had the chance to, get an explosive player, throw it down the field, we could do that. So, the feeling of like the timing and the rhythm of the game has been something for me that I've had to get used to. But I can't say enough good stuff. I know I said 2 weeks ago about how good our offensive staff is, every assistant and, position coach that we have of, having great suggestions and having great ideas to where in between, we can all get on the iPads and talk through what we're seeing and be able to make the adjustments so that, hey, we had this on the call sheet, maybe it's better to do this, and we shouldn't do this, we should do that. And it allows us to be really flexible And I think we have a really transparent, open line of communication to talk about what the best things are. And I don't have any ego in it. I want to earn the best stuff that our kids like. So I think just getting myself in a rhythm and talking to those guys and staying transparent with our head coach, he does a good job of keeping, a next play mindset for me and, good ideas that we could get to. So I think just the rhythm of it and how fast the clock melts out there, adjusting to that has been good for me also.
You mentioned the tablets. How have those factored into what you guys are doing?
It's been probably even more than I expected. And I can't say enough, like what Jake and Noah are able to do on that thing with each other, and Tyler and Clanton, and like in the run game, what they're able to see and the corrections, and for us to just kind of stay ahead. And we've used it a lot more probably than I expected. I knew that we would check it out and it would be able to keep us from getting out of calls, but we've probably adapted throughout the game because of those a lot more. So, credit to our guys and our GAs and our coaches and our assistants that they can like watch it, see it. This is what we're doing. This is what we're seeing. Like, we can't do this because of this, or like, hey, we need to put wrinkles and stuff into that. So I think it gives those guys a voice and it helps us all stay on the same page, but we use the tablets a lot.
Is there a little bit of a cat and mouse game there? Because obviously the other guys are doing the same thing on the other sideline looking at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there certainly is. And with us, you try to, with each people that you play, like, this is what they did in the second half, this is what their adjustments are. And at times you could kind of talk yourself in circles with, like, this is what we would do to stop us. But that doesn't mean that's what they're going to do. So you could kind of, like, talk your way in and out of stuff. And I think for us on offense, it's easy to run something the same way, just out of a different formation. Like the way we started the game this last week, we were in tackle over and we ran a pin and pull scheme. We ran it again later and we just motioned Steve-O to the same thing. So we can run the same stuff just by making little adjustments. I think it's harder on the defense a little bit because, you're limited to being able to run certain quarters and cover 3 and cover 2 stuff. But I think it has allowed us to be a little bit more multiple in how we present some of our simpler stuff.
Jalen Travis obviously comes to you guys over the summer. I believe he got on campus in June, but you didn't get on the field until the last couple of weeks. How has he helped the offensive line just really come together in pass pro and even on the ground in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, he's helped a lot, and not just from like a physical standpoint like I was talking about, but the guy has such a presence about himself. Like, he's an Ivy League grad, you know what I mean? Like, he's just high-end intelligent, and he has like a presence about him of calm and clarity, and he knows what he sees. Like, when he makes a mistake, like, he knows why, whatever it was, and he knows who did it also. So I think just his knowledge of the big picture of what we're trying to get out of all the plays injects confidence into those front seven and injects confidence into me. And those guys know what they're going to see, and I think he's played a lot of football too, so it's not like he had to adjust to the speed of the game a little bit. He's worked really, really hard with Clanton and Jackson Scott Brown, our offensive line graduate assistant. So for him to come in after the injury stuff and play the way he's playing is a credit to him and our coaches, but he's special.
He told a story about Campbell going out there to visit him during the recruitment process out of the portal and going on a tour of Princeton's campus.
Yeah.
For you yourself, what was it like to kind of build a relationship with someone like him?
It was awesome, and for me and Coach Clanton, and Shielas went out there at the time, and I'd never been out there, it's actually Adams State University, I went to school, is actually the complete opposite of Princeton in every way, shape, and form. So for me to go out there, it felt like I was in a Hallmark movie a little bit. Like the lights, the town, like there's no like chain restaurants, like it was mom and pop stuff and gates and stone things everywhere. He toured. It was the first time I've ever went somewhere and I got a tour from a recruit, of what the campus and what it looks like there and the restaurants and stuff. There was this awesome Italian deli we went to and ate at, and me and Clinton did some damage in there, as you can probably imagine. But it was awesome. And just from the get-go, like, this guy had such a awesome presence, and just the way that he carries himself and how he talks, like, he's such a grounded guy but has such a awesome personality at the same time. So it was a fun trip.
Do you remember what your order was at the time?
I'm a big chicken parm and meatball guy, so I think I got the chicken parm sub, and then I got a side of meatball. Me and Campbell are big meatball people. Everywhere we go, we, like pizza review, but meatball review a little bit. So I got the meatballs, and then the guy kept like bringing us out different stuff, and it was fun. It was a cool little spot.
Taylor, when you look at the amount of big plays you had on Saturday night, I know Campbell said, it takes good players to execute those, but how do you think that reflects on you as a play caller?
I honestly don't even really think that way at all. Like the guys like Jalen, Jaden, and Ben, and our running backs like are so talented. They make it really easy. And for us, like this is what fits within the framework of what we do. And I think, like I said before, our personnel allows us to be really unique in how we could get to things and how we can get defenses into things based on our personnel. So like I think of like how hard those guys play. I like to think as a reflection of me and just the attitude, effort, and nastiness that those guys play with more so than like the play calling and the scheme, just because you don't know which idea is like Noah's or Jake's or, you know, like we all spend a ton of time throughout the week trying to figure out what the best stuff is. So it's all the credit really goes to, like, I'm not trying to sound, you know, politically correct or stereotypical, but like the catches that Jalen Noel make they're incredible and few people can make it, and it's all the credit to him and Rocco for understanding where to put the football. So they're fun to watch. I love sitting up there, and I wish I could be on the field to celebrate with those guys and see them and all that, but they're fun to watch.